Greetings and welcome to another episode of Catholicism and Coffee. I am Stephen Gasenski.
I am Beth Kaczynski.
We talk about Catholicism, all things Catholic, and enjoy some great brews. Today we're going to talk about another chapter in a book I recently published. Where is it? There's the camera. All right. Film Forming Faith. You see my name on there, as well as our other contributor, Christopher Chance, wrote an excellent foreword. I decided to talk about the Star Trek chapter covering the film Star Trek First Contact because Star Trek is kind of in the zeitgeist right now, because in not a very good way, because of the new TV show, Star Trek Starfleet Academy, and it is reaching levels of infamy I did not think I would see within my lifetime, but there you are. So we're going to talk about, I'm not going to spend the whole podcast ranting and raving about how crap this show is, because I did try watching the free episode on YouTube. And it's, I tuned out after 2 minutes. And that's sad. But I'm going to talk about good Star Trek. So there you go. So this, I decided to use this chapter to talk about friendship, and I use this film's had multiple examples of it throughout the book. Beth, you are not super familiar with the Star Trek franchise. You have tried, to your credit, but you're more of a Star Wars gal, and there's nothing wrong with that.
And Star Wars is featured in the book too, so I am happy.
Yes.
We're just not talking about it today.
We're not going to talk about it today. We will talk about it at some other point.
Yes, but if you want us to talk about it sooner, let us know in the comments.
Sure. We'll get around to it. And we'll talk about some other stuff later on.
Yes.
So, where should I start?
Let's start with the theological.
Okay.
So friendship is a pretty common topic. It is not exclusive to the Catholic Church. So why did you choose to talk about friendship in a Catholic or a faith-filled book?
Well, it's actually more about love that I actually touch on a little bit more. Love and forgiveness. And I use examples from the movie. I just use friendship as a all-encompassing thing, as an all-encompassing term. And I use for evidence in the Gospel of John, where Jesus says that, no greater love than this for a man to lay down his life for his friends.
Yeah, very famous quote.
And he uses, and it's his evidence that he considers the disciples his friends, not just his disciples or his apostles or his followers. You are my friends. So I wanted to use that I wanted to kind of expand upon that and see how it translates to a secular film. Because unfortunately, a lot of times Christian films do not do this well, but Star Trek actually did this really well in this particular film, and in another one that we talked about on another project of ours. But I wanted to focus on this one.
So when you talk about laying down one's life, is it in the very literal sense, or is it in the small sacrificial ways?
Both.
Both.
In the film, there's a point where our main character of Picard, played by Patrick Stewart, actually is going into the proverbial lion's den, and there is the possibility of death. The possibility of death is extremely strong in this and that particular situation in the movie. And others will risk their lives for other people. They'll risk their lives for their shipmates and stuff, but I use that particular instance from the film to kind of illustrate that particular point. And sometimes you have to sacrifice something else, like pride, because there's a conflict between Picard and Worf. He calls Worf a coward, and you don't do that to a Klingon. Any Klingon worth his salt would disembowel you. Actually, Worf at one point actually says, and I'm quoting here, "If you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand." That's a pretty serious thing to say. And the thing is, Picard knows better, and actually he later on admits it, He goes, I regret some of the things I said to you earlier. Worf's a little snarky. Some. And he goes, actually, as a matter of fact, you're the bravest man I've ever known. And they have a good manly handshake. And I'm like, oh, there you go. So you have to die to your pride. And then sometimes you have to make other sacrifices. And sometimes you just have to be like supporting your pal. And I explore that in the book as well, but that doesn't quite fit your question.
Yeah, well, to follow up with that, you talked a bit about friendship from a Catholic or a theological standpoint, what Christ himself taught us. You talked about how it plays out in the film. What can we take away? What can we learn from these lessons you illustrate?
Sometimes, well, I actually use a personal example. A good friend of mine, and I had a bit of a falling out for a little bit. And it took both of us to actually get over ourselves. Let's be honest, it was more me. I'm not throwing shade at our good friend. I wonder if he even knows who it is.
I thought I was the good friend. I guess it can't be me or either of the cats because you would refer to us as he.
I would not. No, we and it was over something so stupid. You and I have to repair our relationship on the daily because I say or do something extremely stupid on the daily. So there's
that. I haven't done anything stupid today.
I have not, but we still got about a few hours left. We'll see. I'm gonna ignore the comments for now, but there's that. There is the time you have to sacrifice your own pride. You have to, and there may be a time where you have to sacrifice your life for somebody else, because it's simply the right thing to do, or you have that strong love for that person. Sometimes you don't have to go into battle where you're probably facing certain death, but you have to die to self a bit, lose the selfishness. Sometimes you just have to support a friend when they're going through a rough time just because it's the right thing to do and your friendship means that much. People have done it for me. I like to think I've done it for them. I can't say for sure. I've tried.
And I heard some marriage advice many, many years ago before I knew you existed. It's like, oh, husbands would say, yes, I would die for my wife. But then the question is, would you let her hold the remote?
Yeah, it's a question. Actually, I'm pretty good. I usually just have the remote because I'm closer, but I've been like, you take it. You figure it out. I don't want to deal with it. You pick something. I don't want to deal with it tonight.
I do not remember the last time that's happened.
It's been a bit, but we usually discuss what we're going to watch beforehand.
That's fair.
So it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, but just like you said, there are so many ways we can die to self every day. We don't literally have to risk losing our lives.
No. But we have to be willing to do that as well. Christ did compel us that. He gave us that example. Yes. So, what other questions do you have? I'm trying to prevent myself from rambling because I actually really love this movie.
So, did this movie teach you lessons other than about friendship?
It did. It talked a lot about self-sacrifice and how you have to overcome your discomfort. There's a point in the book, Worf actually, there's a point where Worf actually and Picard and another officer do a spacewalk. And Worf does not like it. He said the last time he did zero-G training, he got sick to his stomach. Oof. And there's one point where Picard asks him, how are you doing, Mr. Worf? And he goes, not well. He goes, try not to look at the stars. Keep your eyes on the hull. And there's brilliant camera work where you see from Worf's perspective, okay, I'm going to look down at the hull so I don't really see the gravity of my situation, no pun intended. So it's a great scene. But yeah, you have to suffer discomfort at times, and just sometimes you have to make the tough calls. And there's a couple of times where you have to challenge authority, because the reason Picard mouths off to Worf is because Worf makes a very practical suggestion, and Picard's just being irrational about it. And there you go. But yeah, there's that. You have any other questions, or should we go to the chat?
Let's go to the chat for a bit.
Okay. Christopher Chance. I was about to say I think I wrote a forward for that, but Steven beat me to it. That's because it's my show. I'm allowed to. Did Worf kiss Picard's shiny bald head? This is completely meant as a joke. He did not, even though I have met Michael Dorn, and he is a very tall man, and he probably could, but it wouldn't make any sense. Truth and Shadow Podcast, another friend of the show. Hey, I have a ride. Well, welcome. Might not be appropriate for the podcast since I know you want to be family friendly, but I'll discuss why male friendship doesn't automatically mean it's a homosexual relationship. It doesn't. That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, I think we should address this. So maybe you more so because you're an actual man.
Well, we could say about women too. That's
Fair.
not lesbian, but men have an importance to have a strong bond. We are called to also be accountable to one another. That is one thing that men, in my experience and my friendships with other men, shows that we need accountability. There are a lot of different instances where accountability is so important. And if it's a homosexual relationship, you're going to compromise. In any kind of romantic relationship, you're going to compromise. There is accountability, but it's not the same kind of accountability. Whereas men, unfortunately, modern media has turned male friendship into that they've collapsed to shippers, who have not lived real life and are incredibly stupid. So they're just all ship these two men who are really good friends. An example, some people have been postulating was that Kirk and Spock had I know different time frame, but a bit of a bromance. Yes, there is such thing as a bromance. You could appreciate aspects about other men, but it's not homosexual. It's not a homosexual relationship. It is more along the lines of, hey, I deeply respect one another. There was a fan series, and they had a McCoy and Spock moment, and McCoy says, okay, Spock, how about an honest moment of affection? And Spock looks at him and says, all right, I deeply respect you. There's nothing homosexual about that. It's like, I deeply respect you. And there's those moments. You can have those really deep and personal moments, but they're not homosexual. There was another show where these two guys are just talking about how they met their spouses. And it's a moment between guys. It is one of my favorite scenes. It makes me laugh and makes me smile, but there's nothing homosexual about it. It's just these two guys who are drunk as skunks, and they're talking about how they met their wives. And it's like, it's a great bonding moment, but it doesn't have to be sexual. It shouldn't be.
And it's like, men can just be men around one another, and that's okay. That should be allowed and encouraged.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that culture, and especially in a lot of these fiction or storytelling areas, is there's 4 types of love, and just a good relationship, whether it's two men, 2 women, or a man and a woman, does not have to be romantic.
No.
Because it can just be a good, I think it's philia.
Yeah.
Is the very friendship type of love.
Scary B. He was our editor for a very long time. Fortunately, he still pops on. It's always helpful. So, hello. Well done. Good way to answer that. Well, thank you, sir. Check out his podcast. It's actually very good. Has some interesting stuff. He covers some different stuff than we do, but that's okay. Glad to have him in the space. Predicate says it's true. For those who don't know, Christopher, Brad, and I are all really good friends and know each other quite well. Poor Brad had to live with me for a bit before I got married, and we had to endure a lot, sometimes from each other. So, what are some other questions we can talk about the book, this book here?
Yeah, as a follow-up to the whole friendship question, Why do you think it's important to have these non-romantic or these non-sexual relationships portrayed in media, especially?
For one, it's good to have good examples of that for younger people. I mean, this movie came out in 1996. I was about 7. So this was very important for me in my development. So I was like, hey, I want something to aspire to, unlike media today. Like, oh, I just want to see myself. It's not aspiring. That's just self-insert. So we wanted to talk. So I wanted to talk about the how this can be a really good example of friendship. I could have chosen a bunch of different movies that actually do this really, really well, but I thought this one would work well because it resonated with me. So what was the topic about this particular live? And Christopher actually explains it quite well. It was initially discussing a chapter on Star Trek and began with Picard and Worf. Yeah, I was discussing a chapter from my book, Film Forming Faith. You can find it on Amazon.
Yes, and I think it's expanded distribution too. So if you just search on the internet, you can probably find it other places.
Mm-hmm.
But Amazon gives us the most money. So if you're on the fence about where to buy it, just buy it from Amazon.
Yeah. But no, it's I think that chapter came out particularly well.
Yeah. Are there any highlights you want to share from the chapter itself or read out loud?
Sure. Since I talked a lot about Worf and Picard, I'll read from that part of the chapter. So give me one moment.
I got another comment. Oh, 3 cats.
Oh, it's okay. I have to fight between 2 cats to share our brain cells. Speaking of, I don't know if you heard that. They are having an argument, as they are wont to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Calling Worf a coward. There are a few worse insults for a Klingon. Worf, with barely contained rage, responds, "If you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand." A few scenes later, Picard apologizes to Worf, saying, "As a matter of fact, I think you're the bravest man I have ever known." Worf had come to Picard in the past when he was in trouble, and Picard assisted without a second thought. The two of them had a great bond that was stronger than the conflicts they face. While Picard was his superior officer, Worf respected him far beyond that. He held a deep respect beyond the chain of command. The insult truly hurt Worf, but he still respected Picard even enough to simply express his hurt with words rather than his considerable skill and strength. Because even if he just tapped him with his head, Picard would be done for, because there's actually in lore, he accidentally headbutted a boy when he was a boy and killed him.
I thought my headbutts were hard.
This is worse, because he has a harder cranium. I know for sure if someone close to me hurt me as deeply as Picard initially injured Worf, they would have some serious explaining to do. However, a truly good friend would also have the chance for an explanation. Hey! I should have muted that. Sorry. Speaking of limited brain cells.
Yeah, they've been extra cranky ever since we went back to work after the holidays.
Yeah, so that's been a to-do.
Yeah.
So what other questions do you have?
So for people who maybe have not seen all 12 movies that you discuss in your book, do you think they could still enjoy your book and get a lot out of it?
Yes, although seeing the movies would help. And I reference other stuff in the book, but I think they would still enjoy the book, and if they wanted more context, the movies would help, as I said, but it's not a previous requirement.
Yes. And from what I recall, you give pretty good synopsis of each movie so that the reader, even if they haven't seen the movie or maybe they haven't seen it in a long time, they can still follow along.
Yeah. I do give the warning of spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, go see the movie first, then read the book. The movies first, then read the book. And most of them are pretty easy to access nowadays, even though the Even though physical media, they keep saying physical media is going to die. I don't believe so. In that case. Okay. Shall we go to the chat really quick?
Please do.
An excuse to watch more Star Trek. Sign me up. Yes. Yes, you should. Oh, dear heaven. Professor Heterox wants to know if Jesus' teaching on true friendship requiring bloodshed in the Gospel of John is actually referring to a bland tasting cereal. I visited his cell just now. I don't know how to answer that. I don't think so.
Lay down one's life cereal.
Oh.
No, I don't think life was invented in Jesus' time.
I think we're safe.
Besides, cinnamon life is better.
That is true. Did you, Christopher, did you feed Professor Heterodox life? If you did, well done. Because he caused us a great deal of pain in the last time he escaped. Anyhow, you think we've covered the chapter pretty well?
Yeah, I think we've covered the chapter. Is there anything else you want to share about the book in general?
Get the book, because funds are going to our next major project. But it's not just our current library that will be funding our next project. Professor Heterodox objects since the Old Testament's serial offerings. Oh, dear.
Do I need to go look up when life cereal was invented so that Professor Heterodox will be quiet?
Or just use a taser, since I don't have a phaser. Anyway.
Yeah, so next project and funds and current library.
So our next project is a film, but we do have a new book coming out. So, and all the funds from any of our book sales are going towards this particular project when we decided that we're about halfway to our goal. So, what is the new book? A couple of people have asked. Any of you who have asked, some of you know because you've been involved in the creation of new book. But here we go. So, as you know, another fandom, this one we're actually both very fond of.
Yes.
Is Harry Potter.
It was featured heavily in our wedding, even.
It was. So we wanted to talk about, we were trying to figure out how we could cross over Harry Potter with Catholicism without it being an issue. So we decided to have a little fun. We decided to do a little thought exercise where we could discuss both, but it would make sense. We decided to see what saints would be sorted into which of the four houses at Hogwarts.
Yes. So the title is When the Saints Meet the Sorting Hat.
Mm-hmm. So we pick a little over, it's like 30, it's 30
I think we have like 34, 35 was our final number because our first goal was 30 and then we kept getting ideas because that's how we are.
So we did, we assorted over 30 saints into the four Hogwarts houses, and all four of them, yes, even Slytherin.
Even Slytherin.
It was, I am both intrigued and afraid by this concept. I still trust you all, though. No, we were doing this very carefully, and we thought this through. We did a bit of research on the saints, and I'm actually rereading the Harry Potter books right now. I just got the Deathly Hallows last night, so I'll be finished with that before too long. And it actually was good to do that because it helped, because we referenced both the novels and the films. Because the films leave a lot out.
They do. Yeah. Our primary source is, of course, the novels. But we do pull in the films. We reference Fantastic Beasts a little bit because the films are very separate from the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them book, which does not have Newt Scamander as a character. But his character and his house, which is Hufflepuff, is canon as far as we're concerned.
According to J.K. Rowling,
yep.
It is his house. So. Yes. We're going to go with her on that since she is the creator. Venerable Fulton Sheen would be in Gryffindor. Venerable Fulton Sheen is not in our book. We went with canonized saints, but I we agree with your assessment. He would definitely be a Gryffindor.
Yeah, he was kind of snarky.
He was very snarky. If you read or watched any of his stuff, which I have read a bit of it and watched his stuff, he is very much a Gryffindor.
Yeah. Although I don't know, isn't pushing a woman into a confessional a bit Slytherin-like? Yeah, but he had good reasons for it.
He did. So we we go through it, and as I said, we go through all 4 Hogwarts houses. Mm-hmm. Do you have to read and see the Harry Potter films and books? Actually, books and films to enjoy the book? No.
Just know what the houses are and what they stand for.
But it would be helpful. The other question would be, so who's this? There's always the question of who's this for? It's for everyone. We try to keep it family friendly. But if you have anyone who is trying to pick a confirmation saint, this might be a good book to help them out with, especially if they're a Potterhead.
Yes, I think it's really great for teens or tweens who are Harry Potter fans because it can help them learn about the faith through something they already like, hopefully. If they don't like Harry Potter, then they probably won't like the book.
No, but there's that question. The ultimate challenge, which houses would Stephen and Beth be sorted into? We actually have the answer to this question. We both have taken the Pottermore quiz. I am a Gryffindor, Beth is a Ravenclaw. And we introduced those elements into our wedding, actually. There's a lot of garnet and blue. If you're friends with us on Facebook and you see the wedding, there's a lot of garnet and blue in there.
Gryffindor is technically scarlet.
Yeah. So, but yes, I'm true to scarlet Gryffindor, and you are definitely a blue.
A true blue Ravenclaw.
A true blue Ravenclaw. So there you go. There's a lot. It's a good. We worked really hard on it, and I like to think we did a good job. Mm-hmm. Right now, it's in our test readers' hands.
Yeah, and our hope is to have it out in March, so in time for Easter, in time for confirmation season. It's probably not the best gift for first communicants because it's a little advanced for them.
Yeah, because we go into deep theological stuff.
Yeah. Not as much catechism in this one.
Not as much catechism in this one. But,
it's more the lives of the saints.
Yeah. Where would we find such a quiz if we wanted to sort ourselves into the 4 houses? There's Pottermore.
Yes.
That is the ultimate one because that was developed with J.K. Rowling. Yeah. So they have very specific questions, and it's probably the best one.
Yeah. BuzzFeed, I think, has some versions too. They had, at one time, the official Pottermore house sorting quiz.
Yeah. Some of those are not the greatest. Some are good. It just depends. But the Pottermore one is the gold standard.
Yes.
But that would be the one I would follow. I kind of figured I was a Gryffindor, but I did that. And if you're really feeling fancy and want to really delve into it, play Hogwarts Legacy, and you get sorted, and the sorting hat talks to you, and you have to respond to the sorting hat, and then the sorting hat will sort you accordingly as well. I need to finish my playthrough of that at some point. Beautifully done game.
So, in short, check out our books and help support our, maybe not our next project, but our next project, our big project.
Yeah. I'm currently taking a break from Hogwarts Legacy. I've been taking like almost a year break. I will eventually get back to it. I need to finish another game I'm working on. When I can. But I was focused on the book. So now that
then the other book, and then the other book.
And then the other book, and then the other book, and then the other book. So I'll probably dive back into gaming a little bit more, but right now I'm finishing a bunch of projects.
Yeah. Well, and as a reminder, Lent starts in just a few weeks, and we do have a Lent devotional. And like all the rest of our library, funds from that will go to support our next movie project. We said it was a movie, right?
Yeah, we're doing a
I didn't
short.
spoil anything.
No, we're doing a short film.
Yes.
We just haven't given a lot of details. We will do that one day. We're going to do a live to talk about that, to kind of give one last push for you all to help us. And we may set up an independent funding for anyone who's bought all of our books. And then I'm like, well, what are you doing? We want to help, but we don't need no more books.
Buy them for a friend.
And then there are people like us who have very few friends.
True.
So, let's see. Anything else? Any other questions, comments, concerns for either book? I'm taking, I am being sorted in an opposing house. Can I still contribute to this podcast? Yes.
We have friends in almost all houses.
Yeah.
But we need a Hufflepuff for our trivia team.
Yeah. But yes, you can. I definitely want to have you back, Christopher, for at some point. Just right now, it's just been we've just been delving into a lot of stuff that we kind of wanted to handle. But well, we'll definitely have you back.
And we took a little break for Christmas.
Yeah, we have. Christmas is crazy.
Christmas is crazy. But we'll be doing another movie review, I think, next month.
Yes. We have a couple of movies we want to review next month.
Yeah, we do.
So we'll definitely do those. So, any other questions, comments, concerns? Do you have anything?
Go buy our books. Or if you're waiting for our new one, the Harry Potter Sorting the Saints book, or When the Saints Meet the Sorting Hat, we changed the title halfway through.
Yeah. When the Saints Meet the Sorting Hat. Definitely pick that up.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and also join our Facebook group, because we're talking about maybe having some exclusive content related to the new book there.
Yeah.
So if you want a sneak preview, come join the group. Yeah,
Christopher's already in. Yeah, we'll probably drop something from the new book in there at some point.
Yes.
So we'll definitely be dropping that in there. And do you think the security and engineering crew on the Enterprise wanted to change the red shirts after several episodes? I'm sure some of them did. There's some reason they changed the division colors between original series and Next Generation. I don't remember what. I don't think they gave an in-lore explanation, but yeah, they originally changed it, and there's a joke about it in an episode where they go back in time, which is fun. Good episode. But yes, they probably did want to change it. Like, nope, not dealing with it. Anything else you want to add?
I think we've covered everything.
All right, cool. Well, thank you all. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. We're working on stuff all the time. I'm working on other stuff on other channels. On another channel. You guys can ask me that on our own. I won't discuss on this podcast. I want to keep those projects separate. But I think that covers everything. As I said, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for letting me know you had a life. No problem, man.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for being here, and hopefully you come on again. Maybe we'll all do a crossover episode. That'd be cool. In the meantime, pray for us. We pray for you every night. In the meantime, be bold, be brave, be courageous. Enjoy your coffee or other caffeinated beverages, or if you don't have caffeinated beverages, your non-caffeinated beverages. God bless.
God bless.